complete your test.
Yes.
And also, at the second time, you have to do the same test at the same time again. So at that time, you have to look at the answers. What would be the correct answer, and you have to analyze by yourself why I missed that point. Why is that wrong? So you can analyze it by yourself. What's the reason behind that? So it's make sure the clarify in yourself. So that is better. Okay, and the third one, after 1 week or either 3 days, you have to do the same paper. Just suppose the Cambridge book 17 first test. So you have to do one time first day. As suppose today I'm doing. So after today, I have to do at the night even second time. The third one you have to do after 3 days. So same paper you continue 3 times. So you are really aware about that, and you have clear in your mind what would be the right answer, why you are misplaced that answer. So analyze by yourself. Yeah, that is the most important thing, and how to do. Timing is very important. Analyze the time. If it is 60 minutes, you have to
Yes, thank
make
you.
sure that complete
Yes,
less than
I would have one question regarding from student side. Like if somebody asks you that we face problem and choosing the correct option, and like these are 3 points, right? Three options. Here, as you also mentioned, the timing and before timing, you also told regarding this. But if student is stuck that either part, and the same part, if I would play an audio, if student is stuck either point A or option C is correct, how to get rid of this situation in part 3? It happens mostly. Yes.
mm, yeah, that's in the map or the multiple answers and choosing the best. Sometimes most probably one we can completely reject. Okay, while reading that, one can completely reject that the between two there's the risk. So we have to analyze it. But straight away we have to identify the tenses and uh, the past or to future tense as well as the
Yes.
because it's also depend on the experience. When you are do again and again, it will clarify for our mind as well. Aware about that kind of questions again and again. That is the most important thing.
Yes. Okay, so guys, at here and part 3, as I mentioned, we are going to discuss each part like the same way as we have done part first and part second. Here, the first thing is indeed, if there is title, so fine. No title, so also fine. Like by reading question, as your mind is mentally appear ready, like we are going to face academic wise academic discussion here in part 3. And besides that, each question should be predicted, right? Like you read this question, why is Jake interested in investigating seed germination? You must also now point it, sorry, you must also right now underline some of the words, like making notes in question. What kind of information is required to just choose from the listening audio? Another thing mostly students face in this part, one thing is like indeed the accent. You must be familiar with Australian, American, Canadian, this Britain accent, and beside that, you must be also yeah. At here, the speed would be a little bit faster, even as compared to the native style of speaking, and the normal daily routine, daily life, the communication style. They do not speak little bit like in a full 100% fluent way as you would face here in part 3, and it is also only because for to realize either the student is able to get the message or not. I in simple words I want to and convey, and I mean to say that it here in part 3 the voice will be a little bit fast, right? Okay, next in this part, three parts, like three options are there. First question, second, third, each question is having like the choosing. You can call it like to choose the correct option. Now, anyhow, these three parts would be discussed. But as Fatma also mentioned, that it here you guys are supposed to focus, and you would see the exact answer, how that they would stress on it. They would just emphasize the exact correct option, and they would discuss all of this. And then students mostly get stuck like either this is correct or this one. Those students would get stuck, those who would only try to listen the option, to only listen the option, right? Because the listening option, they would pronounce, they would utter all the words. But if your focus would be on also the concept, like what they are saying, they would like let me take you a practical example before playing an audio. This is sorry. This is 21 number MCQs. Why is Jake interested in investigating seed germination? All right, so this is part 3 here. Academic people would discuss something about the seed germination. Your prediction is saying or conveying to you. Now, that would be a kind of investigation, all right? Furthermore, Jake is a person who takes a kind of interest, right? Who take. Now, let me read these 3 points, and I'm going to stress on one, and you're supposed to mention to just pick that correct option. You have 3 reasons. Among these 3, one is correct, and the others I'm going to discuss also. While Jake is discussing something regarding seed germination with his fellow, and he says that I'm interesting to have a career, but I think that it should be in the not in the seed germination, rather in some other kind of plantation, etc. Furthermore, I'm also observing and analyzing to select the the course for my own career. Finally, I think that such kind of information would really help me, but maybe right now, not not after some period of time. Yes. Now I shared the option, all of the options. What do you think on which I just emphasize?
Mm,
Yes.
C.
Very good. Yes. I said he is observing to choose, to
Okay.
select. Instead of choosing, this is synonymized technique right now. To select this topic, this course. Or is it dissertation? I said some for career, right? Now some words were different, but the message was similar. And beside this MCQs, this option number C, the B and A were just shared. And that here, instead of later on, I said that right now it is beneficial, but after some period of time, it would not. So this option was incorrect. B was also incorrect. He wants to have a career, but not in the. Now, if students would only focus on few words, oh, they would say like, oh my God, they have just shared the correct option. B is correct. And later on, when they listen the C, oh, either C is correct or A or B, right? This is actually the confusion at here in part 3. Fast, the voice. Style, the accent. And option, all. All would be mentioned, right? And students would be ready for that. To listen all, but attentively and conceptually, which one is I'm going to have concern. Let's go through the another MCQs. And I would like the other participant, Aisha, to also answer for 22 number MCQs. Yes, 22 number MCQs is saying to you, Jake and Emma, these are 2 students, agree the main advantage of their present experiment is that it can be. Now, this is an MCQs in front of you, and they are, let's suppose Jake is Ali, and Emma is, let's suppose Aisha, and they are doing some observation, a kind of, you can say on this seed germination, right? Now, let me mention Jake by A, by Ali, and this Aisha by also not A, rather by H, right? A is saying, listen and choose the correct option in this. They are just first read the question. Jake and Emma agree. The main advantage of their present experiment is that it can be. It can be what? A is saying, I'm thinking that there are going to be a lot of some kind of pros and some kind of brighter side of such experiment. Oh, I really agree to you. But I think we should also focus in details discussion and should also share it with our tutor, the instructor. Yes, you're right. Now, when I mention the arrow, it means like this person is now talking, right? Until now, I didn't share the answer. Now listen. Yes, you're right. And then we will be able to explain and elaborate it very easily. Okay, I think so. But I think we should also observe it in some laboratory kind of test. Okay, yes, why not? I also agree with this. But after the completion, I think we would also be allowed to have some another experiment. And for that, I think we would be out of time or we would not have any time. Yes. Which option? Which option?
You are asking me?
Yes. Yes.
I think the second one.
Oh. And what about Aisha? Yes. Which option is correct?
I think B.
Oh no. What about the first one? I mentioned firstly that he said, Jake, that we should explain, and it would be convenient to explain and elaborate it easily. Yes, I didn't mention actually in B. Now inside the library was mentioned, but I didn't talk about to carry it to the library, right? Now, such sometimes a single word, if the single word is missing, the exact information is missing. Okay, like if you are doing some experiment inside the library already, that is not similar to the experiment which you are going to carry to the library, right? So a single word can just change the whole message or the whole meaning of the MCQs. Okay, let's go through the another one, and I expect the right answer. I'm making it easy, right? And the same test, if you want to have from YouTube, book 13, IELTS listening test 1. This is from book 13, test 1. Okay. Understand the question and then decide. I'm discussing, actually, again, I'm going through the same way as you would be confused by the listening in section 3. What do you decide? Sorry, what do they decide to check with the tutor, with their tutor? Okay. Now, listen, A. And let's take now B. Or let's take now A and Fatma, F. Yes, A is saying, I think we should also mention for the evaluation purpose the work, the experiment to our tutor, in front of the tutor. Okay, that is very good decision. I really appreciate it. So what do you think to have it? And then therefore, there we would have a proper purpose to approve, or proper purpose to approve. A saying proper purpose to approve. F. Okay. And I think so. It would also help us, like either anyone else has selected the same kind of course or observation or not. A, you're right, but I think that is not kind of like a valuable point. Yes, it is. Okay. So what do you think about the contribution? That is also not a valued point, F is saying. That is not a, also valuable point, but let's see what the tutor would command. Yes, which one? Yes,
I think
yes. What is the difference between aim and purpose?
you mean the first one, right?
Yes, yes. Whether it would have a suitable purpose or appropriate purpose, right? So at here, actually, the words would be different to confuse students' mind. And mostly, you would see the different words in the for the statement, which would be the correct option, right? They would synonymize that option mostly, which would be actually correct. All right. So I hope it is clear. Yes, little bit. Okay. Let's have another. This last one. what does Jake say about the article on seed germination by Lee Hall? Okay, now you should also predict. When you read the question, you should predict, you should underline some major words, that the same information I'm going to pick from the audio, maybe in some other words, maybe in the same similar words. Right now, Lee Hall. Okay, you should predict like Lee Hall is any book or something from which Jake has taken some experiment, any article, and he is going to share it, right? Okay. The diagram of plants, okay, sorry, let me discuss now. A and B. A is Jake, B is the another person, or who is that? Yes, Jake, and let's take Emma. Emma. B is Emma right now. A is Jake and Emma by themselves. All right. Jake is saying A. Jake is saying that I think seed germination process is really very beneficial and it would really help us in our future. And I also took one quotation, one statement from Lee Hall. I would share with you. Oh, finally, yes, it would be very good. I was expecting such kind of the statement from your side. So let me share that. I think that such kind of experiments of seed germination would just, it would be stable thoroughly and it would help us a lot. Oh, really? Are you sure? Okay, let me also share that the sketch of this kind of, um, the sketch for such kind of experiments would also be beneficial. A, I think so, but I do not agree with this statement. Oh, it's okay, doesn't matter. I'm also not 100% sure about it. All right. Yes. Which option?
I think B.
Very good. Yes. The analysis
Yes,
of seed
analyze.
germination. Yes.
Yes.
Instead of analysis, I think I shared any other word. And at here, I made it further more easy. Like I didn't discuss C, right? It was removed. Only A and B, little bit. So this is called the familiarity with the objectives, right? The MCQs. And students, what they do so far, they just try, guys, when you sit for any of the module, even in practice or in real exam, just try to have a kind of passion for it, like have a kind of target right now. As you shared earlier that I get 26, 25, your target should be 36, right? And to hit that target, you should not be only dependent on section 1 or section 2. You 20 and 20, if here, wow, you can easily get 36, 35, 32, 35, right? Easily 10 and 10, because section 1 and 2 are very easy. They are easiest as compared to all other sections, right? Section 4, section 3. Okay, section 3 is concerned. Here again, the familiarity is based, but sometimes students, what they do not listen it with the attention. They would listen with their attention, and if one test is not fine, they think it is boring and we need some killer points, some bullet points, such other points. Actual thing is understanding, right? And focusing on the concept, right? If the conceptual message would be clear to you, then it cannot wander you. It cannot like create an issue for you. All right. So at here, listening section 4, handwritten. At here, it is a kind of story kind of dialogue, right? And this is rather monologue, not dialogue, but this is the information which is shared by a monologue, one person, right? Let's just read. Hand knitting. What is meant by hand knitting? Yes. Hand knitting means? Yes.
हाथ की बुनाई
Yes. Yes. To sew something with your hands, right? Okay. Knitting has a long history around the world. To sew something, right? Okay. Now, knitting has a lost history with the, now, he would say the attraction towards knitting are instead of interest. Like this is actually to understand the structure, what they are going to and how they are going to confuse, right? Maybe sometimes students would stand here. Let's suppose this is a common example. Students would stand here on one MCQs that now this would be shared and they would share some other words. And you, when you would realize they would be at here in MCQs 33, 32, 31. Anyhow, interest in knitting. Knitting has a long history around the world, all right? We imagine someone like blank knitting. What kind of knitting? A hand knitting, a machine knitting, uh, and old. Now at here old cannot come because it would be an ancient or an old, right? Hand, machine, such kind of words can come. This is your prediction regarding this. Okay, blank. A while ago or a century ago, time period ago, knitting was expected to disappear. A decade ago, some time ago, right? Because ago, so the time would be shared. This is there. This is ago, and that time would also match with this a. The number of knitting classes is now increasing. Yes, who is this? Sorry. Okay, now benefits of knitting. Okay, let me also say people are buying more knitting for. Sorry, people are buying more. Um, you can call it wires for knitting nowadays. Machines are ingredients, goods, etc. Things for knitting nowadays, right? Benefits of knitting. He can say some of the brighter opinions are some of the advantages, are some of the right sides, are some of the good points, are some of the positive sides of the knitting. Now, some other words would be shared instead of benefit, right? And then we'll discuss. Let's talk about some of the advantages of knitting which we are having in this modern era. Actually, to be realistic, to approach, to have a realistic approach, it gives a time much, but I think it also seem very difficult. Now, it here the option would be seem sometimes difficult, right? Seems support in times seem difficulty, right? Now, this is how you are going to tackle it. Requires only blank skills and little money to start. Anyhow, this section 3 and section 4, again, repeating, like if it sometimes make you bored or if sometimes it makes you like little bit difficulty, create a kind of difficulty, just go through the, as Fatma mentioned, she got 8.5 in real exam, right? Just go through the same test of listening 3 and listening 4 section again. And at initial position, like for first 4 5 days, try to listen it with slow speed, like more than normal. One is normal and less than normal. And then after 4 5 tests of section 3 and 4, but in that slow speed, your target should be 10 or at least 7 or 8, right? To get the best, the highest target, 7 8 or 9 or 10, that should be your target. Okay? So you're supposed to do it like this. And in listening and speaking, again repeating that these are the scoring and bonus modules. Here your target should be 8, 7.5, like this. If you overall want the best, 7, right? So in these two are actually very higher scoring one, the listening and the speaking. Yes. Any question in this listening section? You would feel one thing when you discuss here in the class, the listening section, it sometimes become easy for you because of the focus and concentration and also understanding the question, right? Same goes for your test. When you go through the test and you discuss with your own self, with your own mental approach, right? The mind, it would also become easy for you, right? Yes, any question?
No question.
Yes, I expect the best. And listening, Aisha, this is highly for you. I was also thinking about you today that I would ask you to go through book 16 and 17 must. For tomorrow test, book 14, this is your work assignment that you should not leave even a single test as assignment of listening. Though in those 4 tests, like book 14 contains 4 tests, and you must go through all those 4 tests for the listening section, right? Um, okay, Aisha? It's for you as well as for Ali. If you can get, if you can go through 4 tests, it would be highly important and it would highly approachable for tomorrow test, which I would share. Okay, 4 tests from book 14 of listening section only. I would appreciate and then share your result and problems with me. Okay, thank you. Have a nice time. See you. And if you face any difficulty, we will discuss, right? And tomorrow you have speaking, listening, and writing test. Thank you.